Okay, Mayor Ash here. Hey, I'm here today with Karl Pavlovich, and he's our water and wastewater manager for the council. Look, we're going to be talking about the water reform bill that the government's trying to push through and what that might mean for Matamata-Piako. So thanks, Karl. Can you just give us a brief outline on what it's all about, please?
Yeah, thanks, Mayor Ash. So essentially, what's going on at the moment in the water space is we have two significant amounts of work going on. So the first one is the establishment of a new water regulator, Matamata-Piako, and that's already happened. So we already have a new regulator, so they're in the process of getting set up and getting some staff. And what they'll be doing is they will be writing new drinking water standards and then implementing those, and also they'll have an ability to check up on us and regulate us and enforce those standards. But also what's really significant for New Zealand, which we haven't had before, is that regulator will have a start to finish view of water, so they'll also be involved with wastewater, not just drinking water.
So I guess that's a plus for New Zealand water standards overall, do you think, Karl?
Yeah, I really think it is. So we'll have better drinking water, and that will keep people safe from a public health perspective, but also that won't come at a cost to the environment. So we'll have good environmental standards. Actually go hand in hand. A lot of our drinking water is water that has been used and discharged back into the environment, whether it be from farming or from other municipal use. So keeping that clean at the discharge end helps us when we have to take it again.
Okay, and so what's the second part of the reform?
Second part of the reform is around councils and their ability to rise to the challenge of new standards and new rules. So that's where we have this current funding from the government, is to get into a conversation about how can we better deliver a water service amongst ourselves and how we can rise to these challenges. So we have 4.94 million, and with that we'll be trying to stimulate the economy, so there's a part of that as well, recovering from COVID-19, but we'll also be looking at getting ourselves and our information together so we can have a really good conversation with central government and with our partners around about how we can do this better.
Okay, and there's different tranches, isn't there? So there's a first stage with this funding that is available, and then there's a second tranche and a third tranche. So the first tranche, we can spend the money on upgrading our systems that we have. Tell us a little bit about the second tranche and third tranche, what potentially that could mean.
Yep, so this first tranche of money, the 4.94 million, that carries us all the way through till March 2022.
Yep.
But in that period, between now and March 2022, we expect the central government will put through some more legislation to establish new structures and new delivery models. And at that point in time, they said that they'll also provide us access to further monies at tranches 2 and 3. And to access those tranches, you'd have to do something sort of similar to what we have already, which is we've signed an MOU to get this money, memorandum of understanding through council. When we get tranches 2 and 3, you may need to decide whether you want to join structural reform or not.
And so the second tranche and third tranche are voluntary though, aren't they?
Yes, they absolutely are. The government at the moment is saying that this is completely voluntary, so all we've done so far is just said, hey, you know, we agree to be in the conversation, we agree to share our information freely so that the conversation can be had in an efficient way. And for that, we've got our 4.94 million.
Yeah, and that's why council came to the resolution, obviously, to accept that first stage of funding.
Yeah, I mean, it's ultimately for the community. Yeah, it's ultimately for the community and council to decide. But my opinion is it's a fairly sensible thing to do. You've got access to that funding. We've got a couple of challenges that we'd really like to tackle with that funding, so why not? And it doesn't harm us at all to be in the conversation, and we can always make decisions later on down the track, whether it's right for us.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Karl, for coming in today and doing this with us, and hopefully that clarifies a little bit, because there's a lot of speculation out there. So any further questions, if people are worried out there about the water and which way we're heading, then contact us at council and hopefully we can put that right. Thanks for listening. Thanks, Karl, for coming in, and yeah, cheers.